Hello everybody, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith and we are playing through the Unreliable Medicine, or better known as the completely unreliable objectives that you can't bank on and hope you can get in the last possible second before you die. But to be serious, we are on the brink of death here because our Craighheart in the last video ended up stuck behind a tree but managed to get one of the blood roots that we needed, which was good, so that's good news. That's a plus, even though you can barely see him, he's way back there. He only has 2 cards left. He has 1 this discard pile, so he can go next turn, and then things get dicey. He'll be able to go another turn after that, and that's it. But he is stuck behind everything, unless he decides to go through the trap. Or sorry, not the trap, but the go through the thorn bushes, which he might have to do to somehow be useful to us. So there's not much we can do, but that's probably what we will do. And so that's going to be kind of painful. He's going to have to walk through that, so that's going to hurt him quite a bit, but we'll do it anyway. So we're going to go ahead and pick our 2 cards, and then of course the Tinker, his plan is to try to go late in the round and somehow find a way to kill some and maybe do some kind of hop, skip, jump through this network of death and somehow get to one of these tokens, and I don't know which one is going to be the best one to get to. But I certainly know that if I go up, I'll never get back to this one, whereas if I get to this one, I don't know. I think in either case I'm kind of screwed. So I will play it out and see how it goes. So for the Tinker, what I'm going to do is I need movement, and this is where things get really painful because depending on who dies and who doesn't die in this turn, this could be a waste of a card, and that's no good for me. So what does make more, what makes sense, let me think here. If I go late in the round and I have the Shaman and those guys come up to me, the movement may not be useful because I won't be able to move through them just yet. So maybe torching them makes the most sense. So let's go ahead and keep the move for later, and let's do the let's do a move that's going to be really, really dumb. See, that's the thing. If we go ahead and we move and try to get really close, we're sitting on top of a hazardous terrain, which is going to hit us for 2 damage. We're going to be dropping from 6 down to 4. That's not good. So that's kind of where I'm struggling, thinking of a good strategy here. We also want them to kind of spread out a little bit so I can maybe move in between them or kill one and slide past. But we know the Shaman's got a shield 3 in the middle there. He's a pain. This guy's not going anywhere anytime soon. So we need these guys to move through each other on this next turn, and but if they come into this area, they've totally blocked me off and I won't be able to get around them. So it might make sense to move now and go really, really heavy on an attack and just hope for the best, because at this point I don't know what other options I have. Oh, I actually do have a couple decent options now that I think about it. I got an 18 here and 47. So I mean, this is where it gets really sketch because the Tinker has 2 cards and then 2 other cards up here. So I could burn this for an attack 5, burn this for an attack 3, do some serious damage. Now, the only thing is it doesn't make sense to use this one right now because I'm not in a good position to use it. The attack 5 is nice if I wanted to try to, like, say, for instance, take out maybe the... oh shoot. I don't want to do both of these. That's the problem, because then I'm losing too many cards at once. So if I do this top action and I use a move, I'd rather them come through the thorns at me in order to hurt me and hurt themselves on the way over. So maybe what I'll do is I'll do a hook. Maybe I'll do a hook gun thing, because that could be good. So maybe I'll do the hook gun, which will pull, it'll pull the Shaman through, which will give him 2 damage on just entering the hazardous terrain, because his shields don't block that, because that comes through as straight damage. At the same time, I'll be attacking him, so that could actually maybe kill him, and then maybe I can somehow kill this guy off, or maybe be able to move into this space somehow. Oh, it's a decent idea. I also have shields, so I could shield myself up, which wouldn't be bad because I'm going to be taking a lot of damage. So maybe that's the best thing to do for this round. But then I'm losing my flamethrower, which is super handy. but I can always short rest if I have to as well. So maybe I'll do that. So I'll go 47 and 72. And then the Craighheart only has 2 cards, so he's got to use both of them. His goal will just be to go through the thorns and get hurt. So we'll just get him to go early as well, or earliest, or whatever you want to call that. So 38 and 47, not really too early in the round. The Shaman's going to get a 23, so they're going first. How many times have I pulled that card? Okay, and then the Vermling Scouts, who are still alive and well, are going to move and attack. So we're going to get some movement out of them. And the Earth Demon is going to do all kinds of pushing and shoving and all kinds of terrible things and go really late. So, very first person to go is going to be the Shaman. So, moving and healing. Again, this Shaman here, useless. Still moving towards its focus, and its focus is still the decoy, so doing nothing. This Shaman, on the other hand, is going to move towards its focus to get as close as it can. Based on the movement that the game says, that it will move to get as close as it can to be within range of my hero. And if I'm just going to check something really quick here with the monsters, just be sure. It says monster movement. If a monster can move on his turn, if X plus, if you get that move on his thing as part of his ability card, it can move up to a number of spaces equal to its base move value found on this card. And if the monster can, let's see, if the monster has move but no attack afterward as part of its ability card, it will use its movement to get as close as possible to the target, determined as if it had a melee attack, moving along the shortest possible. So it will actually come through and take 2 damage. And that's awesome because it damage from hazardous traps bypasses shields. So that would put 3 on the Shaman, or 2 more on the Shaman, sorry. And that's actually enough to kill him. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong Shaman. My bad. That's the very first Shaman. So the number 2 is the one that took the hit. That's this one down here. So he's almost dead, but not dead yet. And then what we're going to do is he moved, but now the brutal part or the whole funny thing with this is he heals 3. So he's going to go ahead and he's going to end up healing himself before he heals his allies. So he's going to go ahead and heal, and both of them are healing. So both Shamans are healing all of their damage off of them, so they have no damage. So that was essentially a waste. And then they're done. Those guys are done. And that is their 23rd initiative. So now we move over to the Craighheart. So what is the Craighheart going to do? Well, the Craighheart is kind of stuck over here in the corner. He could heal at a range 3. So I could actually target the Tinker and heal him for 2, which wouldn't be bad because he's going to need all the healing he can get to get through this. So that actually wouldn't be a bad idea. But then he's doing nothing with this. Now, if he chooses to use this, it's an area of attack. So what would happen is it would be an attack 1, range 2, it would hit this, and it would hit everything around it, which means it actually would affect this guy here. So I could actually hit him. And the cool thing is I do have this element to consume as well, which would boost it to 2. It would muddle him and all that kind of stuff, but he's got a 3 shield, so I doubt this would even do much to him in the first place, but we might as well do it because there's nothing else that this guy's going to be able to do before he gets exhausted. So we're going to go ahead and heal. He's going to heal from the shadows, and he's going to heal up the Tinkered 8. He's going to discard this card. Now he's going to do his Dirt Tornado. He is going to consume to get a +1 attack on it, so now it's at a 2. It's only going to be able to target this guy here, which is the Shaman, so it's coming at him with a 2, and it is the Craighheart doing this. So the Craighheart's going to go ahead. It's only a 1, not enough to get past the shield, didn't do anything, so this card is gone. And you'll see the reason why I'm doing the shots from long distance with him in the back is that with his cards being so limited, by the time he moved and came around, he'd be exhausted. So I'm just trying to use him as most efficiently as I can, this Craighheart, before he ends up getting exhausted anyway. So now he's done, the Shaman's done, the Craighheart's done. Next in the initiative order is the Tinker at 47. So the Tinker now gets to go. And this is where things get interesting because now we have some characters up here in front of us, and it's like now we have options. So before we were thinking about, and we can't move through any of these guys because you can't move through enemies in order to get past them, which is kind of funny. But we could do something like a flamethrower and just char the ones that are sitting here in front of us, which wouldn't be a bad idea, to be honest. It would definitely blow away this guy for sure, and would actually hopefully punch through the Shaman a little bit. If we did that, then we could move 2 and we would land on this and take 2 damage, but at least we'd be at a spot where we could start moving forward a little bit more. Not as good as I'd like. The next initiative order will be the scouts. So a scout would end up here, not the Earth Demon. So that's good news. So maybe it would make sense to get there. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go Flamethrower against both these guys. We'll go ahead against the number 2 first. I will get a wound if it survives this, of course. And how these area of attacks work is that where the gray is where you're supposed to be standing. That's the orientation of the hits, those 3, and it can be around on any side, whichever side. It could be like these 3, it could be these 3, it could be these 3, and these are the 3 I'm choosing right here. So these 2 are getting picked out, and we're going to go after this guy. Tinker is going to be doing the shot. It's an attack 3 against this guy. He only needs 1 more hit to kill him. So let's do our reveal, and that's exactly the kind of cards we've been getting. That's so good. Okay, so 1 damage goes through, but the good news is, even though we got the worst card in history, we already had 2 damage on him. The 1 damage seeping through was just enough to kill him. So we actually did manage to take him out, thank goodness. Okay, so then we'll remove these damage tokens off the second guy because he's no longer in play. That's great news, and then we'll do the next part of the attack against the Shaman. Now the Shaman's got shield 3, and he's a regular side. We need to get 6 to kill him. Highly unlikely, but there's always a chance. We got 4, so essentially 1 damage trickles past the shield and hits that Shaman. These guys are a real big pain in the butt with those shields. Then this card is discarded. The fire element goes up. We get 2 XP, so this goes from 3 up to 5. The fire element, I think for the first time in a long time, goes up to the top, and this card is discarded. Also, there's a wound, so the wound is going to go on the Shaman. That's a really cool card, and we'll continue to hit him every single time he starts a turn until he heals. So that's a really cool one. Something that you guys probably haven't seen in a prior video. So this will be the first time you're seeing that, and this is what the token essentially looks like. It's like a little flame, so he's just kind of on fire there. And that's it for him. Now, oh, sorry, that was it for the first card there. Now we've got this card, and this is where things, we don't want to really burn a card for looting just to be greedy. We want to move. And even though I'm taking damage by moving, I need to move because I need to get to one of these objectives. It gives me a 50-50 shot, right? So I'm going to go 1, 2, using this for just the bottom 2 movement. It gets discarded. I do take 2 damage for being on top of those on that hazardous terrain, but I'm okay with that because we don't have a choice and we really have to push it. So next up are the scouts. The scouts have a move 0 and attack 0. We have a 1 scout there up top, and then a 3rd one here. So we're going to start with the number 1. He's moving first, and that's how you move your guys in numbered order. Unless there's an elite, they go first. So the scouts have a movement of 3 on their side, but there's no bonus modifier, so it's just a 3. They're going to try to get as close as they can. So like this, for instance, this guy's not going to move at all because he's stuck behind this beast, and he's going to make an attack. So this guy here is going to do his attack. His attack is a 2 to start, and he's coming after the Tinker. So we're going to see kind of what type of damage comes across. -1, so only 1. So the Tinker will take that damage. We're okay with that, and I'd rather be hit by him than some gigantic Earth Demon. And then the Earth Demon now is going to go. And the Earth Demon, I have to bring his card up here because it's way in the back. The Earth Demon's card says to move him, then attack. Well, we can't move him. He's totally stuck in place. This is an obstacle, can't move through it, can't move through his own guys. So what would happen is he can't get into a location to hit me because he's allowed to move through his own friendlies, but he can't be in the same spot. He can't end his movement in the same spot as one. So then he'll do his attack. He is not a ranged character, so his attack is forfeit. Targets all adjacent enemies and he'll consume, as a debuff, consume the leaf, which we don't have right now because we don't have any leaf up in the waning or strong. But he would normally push people away in this certain situation. It would just be enemies, but doesn't apply. So a lot of that card actually didn't do anything, and that's essentially it. So that is the round as of right now. The one thing I'm going to do is I'll wane down this fire element down to waning. We do know that we have a couple things to reshuffle, so in between the video I will do that. We are going to go ahead and short rest with the Cragharp, but we're not going to short rest with the Tinker because the Tinker is going to attempt to do some vicious damage in the next turn and try to see if he can somehow get through this mess. There is a possibility that, like, I can get around this. So I can essentially get around this guy. If I kill him on the next turn and I use like a move 4, I could get like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. I could get to here. So it's looking like this is the bad. Like, we got to forget about this one because we can't handle this dude. We got to take the gamble 50-50 and head that way. And we just have to hope for the best because at the end of the day, we're not going to be able to get both before these guys exhaust. So if you guys are enjoying this, I hope you guys subscribe. I hope you're enjoying the playthrough. I'm enjoying playing it, even though I'm getting beat up. The game's a blast. There's so many different things you think are going to happen, and then the hand comes out, and everything that you plan goes down the toilet. It's wonderful. It's the kind of game where, like, I enjoy the planning aspect, but I also enjoy the element of just a tiny bit of randomness, just enough to screw with you. So we're doing our short rest here is what I'm doing right now. So I'm going to go ahead and take the middle card. This is the one we're going to lose. I don't really... do I want to lose this one? I could hit the shaman from where I'm standing if I use that again. So I could take a damage. This one is no use to me from where I am. And that one's no use. So yeah, you know what? I'm going to take a damage on the Craighart, who's essentially useless back there in the corner anyway. We'll never be able to get into play. I'm going to shuffle these around. I'm going to... I've got to look away for a little bit while I do this. Oh gosh, I drop one on the floor. That's the best. Okay. That. Okay, and we're taking the top card. Attack 2, heal 2, gone. And I can only do that once, so I'm putting that in the loss column. I'm taking a hit. Did I already take the hit? Yes, I think I took the hit for going ahead and pulling it. Not that it matters, because he's never going to get hit in the back corner anyway. But yes, now he's done his short rest. We got the Dirt Tornado back, which is what we wanted, and this one for a move and attack, which is essentially, we know the Craighart's pretty much doomed at this point. Our focus is on the Tinker, getting him through. So the Tinker now is going to get really angry and aggressive, and he's going to use the 18 and then 20. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to flip these, and we want to go early because we want to get the heck away from all these enemies. So we're going to go ahead and what I'm going to do actually right now is, now that I'm kind of already moving into the next round, I think this is a good time to actually stop the video, and the next one's going to move straight past this. I'll grab these two actually for the Craighart, and we're ready to go. So in the next video, we'll pick up right at the beginning of this round, and we will see if we get lucky enough to get past this mess. And even though we stumbled all the way from the beginning, all the way through this entire journey, and then all the way over here, and we put some beautiful rocks back here in the first campaign that meant nothing for us, at the end of the day, we may find the all-important Dagger Root. No, it's not Dagger Root, guys. We don't want to find Dagger Root. We want to find Blood Root. That's right. So we're going to keep looking for Blood Root. We only have a 50-50 shot because these guys are going to exhaust. I am getting down in cards. I've only got 5 for the Tinker and 2 for the Craighart. So I don't really have the capacity to go for both. So we're going for the top one, and there's nothing else we can do about it. So until next episode, guys, hope you guys are enjoying. Please subscribe, and I will see you again in the next episode. Until next time, guys, keep rolling solo.